Matthias Niemann of PIRCHE, and we have now our 6th episode of our webinar series this year. And today's topic is the custom population feature that we added recently. So the custom populations basically allow you to upload your own populations and use them in the risk profile, the SOT ramp, and the HSCT search profile. If you upload your own custom population, for example, a stem cell donor registry database, then you can use it in the search profile and find real stem cell donors with a search profile. So this allows you to use the search profile not even with a virtual population, but with a true population to identify your 9 out of 10 well-matched donors. And if you consider the risk profile or the risk and acceptable mismatch profile for SOT, using your custom population improves your results by better matching to the genetic variation of your local cohort. So this basically means it matches better to your region instead of assuming that your cohort matches some predefined haplotype database. So in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to show you how to upload your own populations and what you can see immediately after you uploaded your populations. So I guess it's time again to jump onto my screen, right? Let's go to our PIRCHE website and log in with our credentials. So you can organize your custom populations by going to the settings menu up here and clicking on the populations. So now you come to that page here where all your custom populations are listed. As I did not create custom populations before, this page is still empty, but now let's check out how you can change that. So first up, you need to find a solid name for your population. So let's take some name here so we remember what this population is about. Let's assume these are our kidney donors from last year that we high resolution typed. So next up, you have to select the file in which the data is in. So this is here my example file, the high-res CSV file. And as you can see here in this CSV file, every row here is a single individual of your population. So basically it's an ID followed by all the HLA values. This file contains high resolution values, so we have to make sure this arrow here points to the top right. And then we are good to go. By pressing the plus button, we now add this population. So after a few seconds, this process is finished, and by clicking on that magnifying glass, you can open up the details of this population. And if you scroll down a little, you can see here all kinds of additional information about your population. Like, for example, how many genotypes were imported, when the data was imported, and who imported the data. And also PIRCHE extracts what loci were actually provided in your data set. Please always make sure that all of your individuals are typed on the same loci, otherwise you get some anomalies where not all loci are represented equivalently, and this causes, of course, trouble. And finally, down here you find now bar charts with the allele frequencies, and we can see here, like for example, the A011 was now in our population with something like 18.75%. So now let's check out how we can upload low resolution typing data. Let's give it again a solid name. Like for example, in 2017, we only typed our kidney donors with low resolution typing. So we now have a CSV file called low-res CSV, which includes only low resolution typings. So as you can see here, we now have again a CSV where every row now is a single individual. And as you can see in that list, we have basically A, B, C, D, R, D, Q typings in here, although sometimes the one or other locus is actually missing. As said before, when you have high resolution typings in your file, you have to make sure that this arrow here points to the top right. Now we have low res values in here, so we click on that arrow here. You get now again a drop-down menu where you can select the population that's used to impute your data. So now let's assume again that we have a European population. So the imputation approach here is actually identical to the one I explained in the earlier webinar on the low-res SOT module. So if you want to get an explanation on that, make sure to check out the previous video. Now we are basically good to go. Let's press the plus button to add our population. And a few seconds later, this file is already imported. And you can see here that we only have ABC, DRB1, DQB1 typings. So that's exactly what we had in our file before. Something that's deviating now from the file is actually the number of genotypes. And the reason for that is that we only had a couple of phenotypes in our file, but because of the imputation approach, we now preloaded all these genotypes here into high resolution genotypes. And this is now also reflected by the allele frequencies you see in here. So we have no antigen frequencies given here, but we store immediately the high resolution values in here. The AO201 here, for example, goes into our list with something like 33.9%, and the AO205 only with about 1%, although we only had low resolution values in our file earlier. So the populations you input here are not supposed to impute low resolution values, so they aren't available here in the SOT single patient module, for example, if you want to select your extrapolation population. However, these populations can be used in the SOT risk profile. So here, these two are now available. They are also available in the acceptable mismatch profile. And of course, they are also available here in the risk and acceptable mismatch profile. And finally, they are also available here in the HSCT search profile. So you can imagine here, by uploading a stem cell donor registry database, you can use the search profile to immediately find 9 out of 10 matched real-world donors from those custom populations, instead of just having virtual donors from these generic haplotype frequency tables. The custom populations are supposed to work over all of your organizations. So if you have a routine account, these populations here can be seen and edited by all colleagues of your organization. So if you create an organization account here and add multiple users to an organization, they can all use the same populations. So you can share basically your populations within your organization, so you can work all on the same data. One minor pitfall that I want to bring up here is the custom populations are currently not supposed to handle the imputation from low resolution to high resolution. This is maybe to come, but right now this is not supported. So that's it for this week's episode. I hope you liked it and learned a lot. I like the feature actually quite a bit. If you have any questions or suggestions, do not hesitate to contact us via the contact form on the website, or use that email address and just drop us an email, and we try to get that solved. So, thank you for watching and see you next time.